Hey y'all, Fuzzy Biker here at Baxter Cycle in the mighty metropolis of Marne, Iowa. Check out what I got today. Randy Baxter stopped me up the road and said, hey, you want to ride that bike? And I said, you know I do. It's a 1975 Norton Commando 850, red, white, and blue. Look at that thing, absolutely gorgeous. So it's a parallel twin, air-cooled. I think the cams are in the bottom. Yeah, there's a single cam in the front, and then it's overhead valved, 2 carburetors. These look like all concentrics. They have a motor makes about, I think it's 60 horsepower about is what they make, you know, give or take a little bit. Some of these had a 4-speed, some of them had a 5-speed transmission. I think the ones with the electric start might have had the 4-speed, but I'm not sure about that. If you all know, put something in the comments. Key features of this thing, besides a fabulous engine that slants forward, you know, it's got that rubber ISO whatever engine mount system. So the whole engine is isolated from the motorcycle. Even the exhaust pipes, see the rubber right there? Everything is supposed to be, you know, the idea was keep this isolated, you know, reduce the amount of vibrations. The Atlas was the one before this, the 750 before this, had about the same engine. The Atlas, I've ridden those before, I've ridden these before. The Atlas was much more vibey. They think you can get about 500 more RPMs out of this one, simply because of the isolation, you know, of the engine. Here's the coils. There's 2 coils. I think there's 2 coils. There should be. Electric start's right there. I believe that's the electric start. Points would be under this cover here, probably an oil pump right through here, transmission right there, like I said, a 4 or a 5-speed. I'm not sure what this is all about. So hydraulic brakes already. So this one has a disc on the back, the Lockheed. Yeah, it says Norton Lockheed on the rear, and probably on the front, same thing. Just a very good example of one, isn't it? I like the way it looks. Has a kickstart. They talked about when you go to start these, you go ahead and get it a little over center before you hit the start button with the electric. Very weak starter system, they say. I love the pipes on these. These go through here a lot, and they have a lot of these, and there's many different ways these pipes are made. That's how I always find it interesting, because, you know, they're all Nortons, but there's several different, you know, sometimes there's a welded seam. This one looks like it's a flange, you know, it's been molded. The ends are also different. Some have smaller ends, some have a little lip there. I know, I'm geeking out on you, right? Center stand on the bike right there. I don't know what the seat height is. To get the seat off, you loosen these on both sides, pull the seat right off. Made in England by Norton Triumph by 75, or it was Norton Triumph. Look at that big old tail light there. Those tires, we think of those as thin nowadays, but that used to be a big tire back in the old days. They would, you know, we would consider that something like a front tire now. There's the brake on the front, telescoping forks. Look at that. These bikes would weigh 430 to 450 dry without fuel. There's different variations of this, and one of the big differences on them are the size of the tank. And I don't know which one this would be. I know there's one that's made for the long ride and has a much larger tank. I don't think that's this one. Isn't that just beautiful? I love the details. You know, look at that. Just very well done motorcycle. Just a gorgeous thing. Look at that front wheel. Wow. All that chrome and rubber, and, you know, no plastics at all. Maybe in the gauges. So the gauges are Smith's gauges. Tachometer, speedometer right there. These are magnetic by this point. Little console right there. Neutral, turn signal, high beam, ignition. If the ignition's on, I suppose. Let's see if we make it do anything. You know what? I'll wait for the mechanic before I do any of that stuff. Ignition off is straight up and down. Looks like there's a lock for the handlebars right there. There's a guy down the road that does repair on these Smith gauges. I'll put a link to his place right there in the right above right now. smithswork.com, I think. He can redo the innards, he can recalibrate, he can put new faces on them, he can recrimp, put new glass in, recrimp them. You know, you can do them all, and get a hold of him if you need anything. This is the choke right here. Like I said, it's a carbureted bike. That's you know, the sign of a disc brake. Electric start button right there. What's this, on and off? That's his head there. I'm not sure how that works. This is lights, high and low, blinkers, horn, engine on and off. I'm not sure. I really don't know what this thing is here. That's the start button for sure. Barrel grips. I love the barrel grips. Absolutely gorgeous machine. Absolutely gorgeous machine. So the primary is under here, a chain, You know, the crankshaft, push power out here, big old clutch hub right there. Transmission's on the other side of that. Take a look at that over here. Yep, there it is right there. Dry sump engine, so I'm guessing the oil tank. I don't know where the oil tank is on these. I'm assuming it's a dry sump. These are oil lines, so follow the lines up, I guess. Well, it's there somewhere, by golly. Beautiful machine. You know what? If y'all are interested in a newer used Royal Enfield Triumph Classic British bike like this one, get yourself over here to Baxter Cycle in the mighty mini-tropolis of Marne, Iowa. Check that one out. Isn't that cool? Or go to baxtercycle.com. Tell those fine folks that Fuzzy Biker, vintage bike, Fuzzy Biker, sent you. Hey, life is good. It's a beautiful day here. I'm going to go find a motorcycle and go for a ride. Y'all do the same. Wahoo!
Keep the greasy side down.
Wahoo! Vermont. Wahoo!
Wahoo, Alaska!